Welcome back to Studio 5. So in this season of wish lists, overcrowded malls, presents galore, how can we help our families and our kids overcome the want of Christmas?
Studio 5 relationship coach Matt Townsend has 4 things to consider, things we need to remember, because it is so easy this time of year to get overwhelmed with all the want, things we need, things we want.
Do you guys smell cologne? Because I do.
Just say, once again, you guys have never smelled so great.
I smell hot.
We should do cologne taste to smell test every day on the show.
It tastes horrible, but it smells delicious.
Yeah.
Matt was spraying a little bit down there, you know?
The want is a huge deal. And how do we teach these kids that they can't have everything they think they want? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about the wants. And this time I went out of my way to make an acronym of want. 4 keys to kind of help your kids deal with the want, right? Okay. Rule number 1, you have your kids walk in someone else's shoes. Now, the way to do that is let them really taste what wanting looks like. Have them go to a shelter, have them go to a homeless center, have them go to some... we went to a study abroad, kind of, and took kids where they saw what real poverty looks like.
A humanitarian mission.
A humanitarian mission or something like that. But if you can give somebody a taste for what real poverty looks like, then you're into starting to break up what a want is. A want, a lot of times, is something a kid thinks they need, but is really just a want. It's a desire. And the problem with it is we're getting marketed wants constantly. Marketing's constantly saying, you need more, you need more. Yeah, I really want that new game. But a want really isn't that. A want is, I mean, that is a want. A need is something that's very different. I don't think our kids get a pretty clear vision of what that is. You don't need a new game.
Yeah.
You want a new game.
You want it.
So if you take them and you show them what somebody that really looks like they're in poverty, or do a sub for Santa for a family that really desperately needs it, and all of a sudden I think your kids will start to get a taste of what a want really is.
I kind of experienced this last year. So I've been working with Operation Smile, as you guys know, for the past couple of years, and my younger sister had obviously heard a lot about this over you know, the years that I'd been working on it. Last Christmas, we went through some of the pictures from Operation Smile, and there was a 10-year-old girl that we featured her story, and somehow reviewing that 10-year-old girl's story to a 10-year-old in an exact same life situation, it changed it for her. And she had this moment where she said, that girl's my age.
That's right. And
I said, yeah, and that girl wants a new smile while you want, I mean, it just put it into perspective, putting it on their level.
See, and when they see that, that's why a Mother Teresa died with nothing, and a Gandhi died with nothing, and Jesus died with nothing. All of these iconic figures died with nothing, because they were out meeting needs, not fulfilling their wants. And so give your children and your family and people around you a chance to see what that's like. So that's one tool, okay? The second one is to act on a prompting. See, I believe you're constantly being prompted to be serving, to constantly be prompted to do something more, not just to serve yourself. I think that's your natural side of you, is to just constantly want to feed yourself. But I believe your heart, your soul, is constantly prompting you to act. So one of the things you might want to do is start having your children identify when they're being prompted to do something for others. And every day, maybe at dinner, sit everyone down and say, look, talk about prompting, talk about the idea that when your heart tells you you should serve somebody, let's serve somebody this month. And what we're going to do as a family is we're going to identify when we acted on the promptings. And then at dinner, after dinner, just ask everybody, give us an example today where you felt like you should serve somebody and you did. And then so you're talking about the prompting, not even a goal to go serve, because that's kind of a different thing than every day finding a chance to serve somebody. And then give them an activity. Everybody think of somebody in our our neighborhood or our family that really needs some special attention this week. And everybody think of somebody, and I want you to write their name down, and let's figure out a way from that prompting to go serve.
You know, when you talk about prompting, a goal to me is almost premeditated. We plan it out ahead of time.
That's right.
But the prompting is almost teaching these kids a skill.
That's exactly
so that they're constantly aware of it and acting on it.
And tell me how that will serve them the rest of their life.
Yeah.
So if we can get them right now focusing that there are promptings, there are times when people you'll walk by need your help, or just a kid in your class needs an extra sucker or an extra candy cane, that's what we need to be focusing on. And again, I believe if we're not asking questions about it, then we don't pay attention to the prompting. So notice, most of the things about overcoming the want are the subtle things. The things like changing a need from a want to a need, or also getting into a prompting. So focus on promptings, okay? The next is to, what was it? It was really profound. Need less. We just flat out don't need what we have. And if we could need less, notice the word needless. Most of the things that we say we need are needless. We really don't need more. And so what are some things right now that you could just sacrifice and do without? If, like, worst case scenario, if you had to cut back 25% in your life, what would you cut back? And could you cut it back? There's something about being diligent or disciplined enough to not need it that really creates power in you. So this is about growing discipline. So what you might want to do for Christmas this year is ask your kids, what are some things that we flat out can just do without? Could we go a year without cable? What?
Yeah.
Could we go a year without iTunes? And things like that. What could we go a year without? And take a serious test. Could we literally not need that? And get rid of some of the needless stuff.
So it's the action, not just the question, but get rid of it.
And it's a true discipline. So what if you could grow up and really be disciplined enough to not want something? I mean, want it, have the stimulus of, oh, that looks good, and say, I don't need it.
That would be such a freeing thing. Because I think so often we feel ourselves, we have to have cable, we have to have iTunes, we have to have all these things. And if you then at some point in your life learn, you don't have to.
Right. And get rid of your stories that, you know what, we need a bigger house so we can entertain. Or we need a boat so that our family can be together. Get real. You don't need, if you need a house to entertain, you got a problem. You've got buildings you can rent. You got a backyard. You got other ways to do it. But what we do is we take something that we really want, and then we form it into a need. And then it's a need that burdens us and holds us down, right? Okay? So try to need less, and I guess literally commit yourself and your family to seriously cutting back. 20%, some big chunk. Literally, what if you could put 20% more in the bank this year? And relieve some of that stress, some of that pressure.
Because if you don't, go ahead.
No.
If you don't feel it, if you don't feel that, then you're not learning anything from it. If it's just a minor thing, then it's nothing that you've actually internalized or
I
changed.
like those examples you cited, the Mother Teresa, the Jesus Christ. I mean, people that did give their entire lives and ended up with nothing, but in the end, so rewarded.
Everything.
Yeah.
And so let's go to Mother Teresa, because here's one of my favorite quotes that'll lead us into our last one, okay? Mother Teresa said this: when a poor person dies of hunger, it has not happened because God did not take care of him or her. It has happened because neither you nor I wanted to give that person what he or she needed.
Ouch.
Yeah. So, if people are suffering and struggling at this time of year and all year, it's not because God's not providing. It's because we're not providing. And we're not providing because we think we still need what we could give away. So that, I don't want to depress anybody, but the reality is we've got to learn to be more giving. So the last one is simply to learn to feed. To feed and literally take the steps to feed another person this year. Not a kind of a, don't just try to mention it. And don't just try to like quickly pass by it so we can have a big party on Christmas Day. Let's truly see who we can feed. And don't think feeding somebody takes money. Feeding somebody could just be giving your time. It could be giving your attention. It could be giving your focus. It might simply just be giving your fireplace, where you bring them into your home and you have them there for Christmas Eve. We have a friend we bring in every Christmas whose family's out of town, and we bring him in and we have Christmas dinner with him. We've adopted him into the family, poor man. And but you know what? I know he loves it. And then he gets more presents than any of us, and my family loves serving him. So bring someone in. Okay, let people into your life, and if you let people into your life, you'll see the wants of Christmas dissipate.
Yeah.
And it really is a skill that then you will learn, you'll be able to use your entire life.
Right. Give. Okay.
Good reminders. All right. We
Thanks,
want to remind people you have a gift you can give that involves relationships and kind of nurturing the love in your life.
And you can, what it is, it's just go to 801-747-2121. Townsend Relationship Center, and we're giving away those free consults, those free coaching sessions, 1 free hour with anybody that you need help with.
What a good time of year to do that. New year, new starts.
New life.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks.
When we come back on